Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, people. You're back again with Talk Football, and you are with me and Dan. Sorry for the weird time of the stream today, because not a lot of people are available today for us on the stream. But yeah, we thought me and Dan could come in, and because it's going to be a big week for me and him as a Chelsea fan and as a Liverpool fan, and it has already been a big week for me and him as well as a Chelsea fan and a Liverpool fan. So yeah, we just thought both of us would come in and have a chat. We do have more things along the pipeline as well, and yeah, I'll tomorrow be doing another stream on the women's Super League, because I think that's an important thing that we need to speak about.
Oh, definitely.
As a footballing community, as what the Chelsea women's team have achieved in the past years, and plus as Emma Hayes, what she has done. It's nice to talk about these things. It's a feel good thing for them, and at the end of the day, I really want to give them a platform where I can talk about them, give them some praise, and give them back some of the love that is not exactly going towards our women's teams. You know what I mean, then.
So where's the excuses, Anthony? How come your women's team can do it, but the men's can't?
You know what? You know what, Dan? I think we need. I think we need to get rid of all our attackers and play Sam Kerr up front.
Yeah, do you know what? I don't think there's any issues with that. I think you might have a bit more effective goal scorer, to be honest. But we'll go over that because a certain Mr. Lukaku could be back, couldn't he?
Oh, she is so good. She is
fantastic.
So good.
Fantastic.
But
be off to Barcelona before we know it.
Yeah. I think she's quite happy with Chelsea, the way things are going as well. And I mean, fair play to her, even if she makes the move. I mean, it is what it is, but she has achieved so much, 2 years running, top scorer of the league. I mean, incredible.
We can discuss that. I mean, there's so many interesting things about the women's game. I think that tomorrow will be the best one for that. But again, for a player like Sam Kerr, if she wants that Champions League, I'm afraid there's only one team, isn't there? She has to move.
She has to make that.
She'll deserve one in her career. That if you're that good, you don't want to end without one.
And she's one of the people I'll be like, fair play if she makes the move for that Champions League. Fair play to her. Like,
you can't stand in the way, can you? When it's that way. But so I think we'll have to discuss this weekend's action, because there's been a number of important results, I think, for your club and definitely for Liverpool. So we'll go over that whenever. Who do you want to start with? Do you want to start with Chelsea's?
I'll start
results?
with Chelsea. I'll start with Chelsea then. You know why? I believe there is something at play here, right?
Okay.
I believe we are doing so much of charity is because of good karma. So we accumulate that good karma towards the FA Cup final, so something good might come out of it.
Okay.
This is what I'm thinking.
I like it. Let me just go and find. I think I've got some straws in here, because you look like you might be clutching at them, to be totally honest. This has been the story of Chelsea, hasn't it, for the last 4 weeks, 5 weeks, ever since Brentford. It's other than the one blip in Southampton where you decided to go, oh, we're actually a really good team again. We're going to score loads of goals. You were 2-0 up. 2-0 up, and this is a Wolves team who, we're all aware have struggled to score goals this season, and anything can happen. But there's a mentality problem, isn't it? Like I said in the last stream, there has to be. These players don't believe.
More than a mentality problem, I believe it's just that player power that has been there, to be honest, during Roman's days, and players getting to understand that it's not going to be there, hopefully, in the future. And apparently Marcos Alonso had a massive bust up with Thomas Tuchel during halftime, and that's why he was substituted. So that's so apparently this might have been the last time we've seen him for the rest of the season. He might be shipped by the end of the season towards Barcelona as well. And
any more news on why that was? I know he's got a deal agreed, sort of all but signed with Barcelona. I've heard that's. But what was the bust up about? Did anything happen? Or
I think so. So let me show you maybe the reason as to why this happened. Right, I am seeing what I'm looking for a video that I seen earlier, Marcos Alonso, so I can show it to you. I'm just searching Twitter. Marcos
Yeah, yeah,
Alonso Wolves. I think that's the reason because like Thomas Tuchel, he's the type of person who wants everything to be in a certain way. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Everything needs to be played accurately. The passing should be crisp. Everything should be crisp. There is a video which shows what he did during the freaking game. Like, he literally passes, like, we built up everything well, and then passed, he just ended up passing towards the opposition for no
Right.
absolute reason when there was an easy pass to be made. And
Does
I
that
think
does that does that give you an information that he's checked out already? Like he
I
just
think
doesn't
so.
care.
I
That he's
think
not
so.
bothered.
I
You
think so.
know, if he's having bust ups at half time with Tom, don't get me wrong. I could accept that Thomas Tuchel at times will be a hard man to deal with
Oh,
when he's not happy.
100%.
We can see how animated he is on that sideline. He's always been that way. He demands the highest, from his players. But there's still a job to be done, and Marcus Alonso is still contracted. Yeah, how's it going?
Yeah, how we doing? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I'm good, mate.
Very well, bro.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's just bad right now. But as I said, I think we are just giving away charity so much, so we can accumulate that good karma towards the FA Cup final. Maybe use it all, but that's it.
No, and that's it. I mean, we watched the game, didn't we? We watched Chelsea Wolves, and it looked like Chelsea was getting a little bit of form back again, which
Yeah.
I couldn't deny it. You had some luck go your way, which you need in times. Lukaku's second goal with
It
the
was a
ball
good
being
goal,
played
by
out
the
from
way. Like,
Connor Cody playing the ball out, ricocheting off Ruben Neves, who appeared to have been literally falling asleep in the midfield, and Lukaku's there to jump on it, and that is what you want him to do. That's part of the performance. That's levels that even with the time that he spent on the bench, that he's gone out there, he's got 2 goals. He's now matched Steven Gerrard for goals within the Premier League. Which from a striker you would expect. He has had 3 goes in it, 4 teams now, including
exactly
Chelsea
right.
twice. So it's I'm not clapping too quickly, but yeah. He's doing what he needed to do, and you would say that the job's done, but then you allowed Wolves into the game. You almost let them go, oh, do you know what, we're 2-0 up, we're going to sit back. You invited pressure. You invited Trink out, and he took a brilliant shot. Like, fair play to him.
Fabulous.
He might not score as good of a goal like that, all next season, never mind this one. But he then had another go a little later on, and you'd have thought, like, this is it now. But I just don't know when you conceded that goal that you just looked vulnerable. You looked like, anything could happen. And we all know that last minute goals can happen. They're possible. They're not, they're not always. But you need to be there, switched on every minute, all the way till the end. Wolves were there at that last minute to put that ahead in.
It's the fact that we took out Azpilicueta because he was already on a yellow, and we didn't, because the game was going that way. We had to take him off. And, quite possible he can put in a silly tackle and get another yellow, and that means a red card and maybe not being able to play in the FA Cup as well because of these weird things. Maybe that was a tactical decision from Tuchel to take him out, and then you bring on Sa, and that's where Connor Cody comes in and then heads the goal in at the end of the day. I mean, it's not good enough then. It is what it is. Simple as, like, whatever the reasons that we as Chelsea fans can come up with, the only thing that I can say is it's not good enough.
So that's
Dan, just real quick. You know what it felt like? It felt like Todd Bowley's I don't know what you would call it, but is having that first game, you know what I mean, coming in with a clean slate and being able to apply pressure, not even on the league, but just coming in and announcing yourselves, this is our new regime, this is what we're doing, and then capitulating in the same way you guys have been doing, very United style, by the way. I will say it's United-esque in the last 20 minutes. it's just disappointing. I don't think it really says anything. I just think it's disappointing. Like,
it is disappointing. It is very, very much disappointing. It is deflating as well as a fan base, because we were in a very, very good position to win a game in a long time, and then you got Arsenal winning yesterday, which is not. I mean, I don't really care whether they take the third spot or not, because it really doesn't matter right now. However, it's shit. I mean, plain and simple.
It's a psychological point, because you put yourselves under undue pressure, haven't you, at the end of the day? You know, you've got Leeds this week.
This thing.
Yeah, you've got, I mean, this is it. So you are, you know, there's a point between you and Chelsea. The biggest difference is, and I still said this on our other stream, I think that what will save you is Chelsea, is that Arsenal and Tottenham have to play each other. Yeah. And I think that's the only thing that saves Chelsea from being in you're not going to get top four conversation. I don't see that happening. No. But the real underlying situation is you're going to get a workout against Leeds.
Yeah,
they've got everything to play for, every single thing to play for. You don't have a large squad, really, who can come into that match you can rely on, because you still can't afford to lose that game and be like, oh, yeah, it's okay. Yeah, we'll just, lose another match. This form's important. This was meant to be a celebration. This was Chelsea, new ownership. Okay, the club's safe. It's secure. We've got somebody who's going to, look after the club. And unfortunately, it was a bit of a damp squid, and it showed that the players' mentality, maybe it's with the contracts, maybe it's the people who are coming out of the club, maybe it's, the Alonso who clearly just didn't care. He was more than happy to have a big row with his manager at half time. Because he must know that Thomas Tuchel will do something like that. He's a hard man. He's not going to accept people making a fool of him or questioning his leadership, because he is, at the end of the day, a very, very good manager. And I've said this from the start. I think he's a great manager. I think he needs I think he's going to need a lot of time to get Chelsea where Chelsea want to be. There's a lot of rebuilding that needs to be done. We talked about this on the last show, a lot of players, but you've just put yourself under a little bit of pressure. That's all I would say. And you want to build a bit of positivity, that little bit of positivity in the club. You're coming up to a final, and the positivity is not growing at the moment. So it wasn't a surprise result, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I think the way it happened was a surprise, because I didn't think 2 goals that you would concede 2 in the last 20 minutes. I just didn't think that you would do that. And it showed you could, really. 100%. So I suppose what we could now look at is my team, Liverpool.
Did you see Jurgen Klopp's comments, Dan?
Is this the ones when he was asked about Conte's style?
Yeah. What did you think about it?
What did I think, right? Well, just bear with me on this one. Jurgen Klopp gets asked for an opinion by the media all the time. He's asked for opinions about the 5 substitutes. He gives it. He asked about what he thinks about going on in political situations. He'll give it. When he's asked him an opinion, he will give that opinion. And that's what he's done. He's given an opinion that he doesn't like that style of play.
Yeah.
He said he has massive respect for Conte. He thinks, he's a top manager, and, he's praising him. He's not calling him out. He's just saying that he doesn't like that style of football. That style of football was commented on by certain Mr. Gary Neville, suggesting that was a reason as to why he wouldn't have been the right manager, rightly or wrongly, that for Manchester United. So he does split opinion. My opinion on it is I'm not going to sit here and say, well done Spurs, aren't you brilliant? You got a 1-1 draw at Anfield.
Yeah.
Because that only puts you up there with Brighton. They got a 2-2 draw at Liverpool. Why is this a great result to get a 1-1 draw when you can beat City home and away? It's not a great result for Tottenham, because it's put them in a situation now that they've defended for their lives. put themselves on last ditch balls. You're seeing Ben Davies putting a man of the match performance in, and fair play to him, he did. But they got a point. And now where are they? Europa League. Europa League was never in doubt. The big prize was the Champions League. It would have been better to come at Liverpool and get a result, out of us, even if you lost 2-1. Attack us. Because if you lose, at least you can walk away from it knowing that it was in your hands. What they did was came for a 1-1 draw or 0-0. 1-1, I think they were going to score goals. They took their one clear cut chance, and they always will with players like Kane.
By the way, I said that was going to happen, by the way.
And you're right. And as much as I wanted to believe the fact that because we've won the last 12 matches at Anfield, I know Tottenham don't travel very well. Tottenham's recent performances haven't been great, coming up against Brighton and Brentford and getting 0-0 draws, which people conveniently forget that a 1-0 draw is a fantastic result, but it still gets you 1 point at Anfield. We still only get 1 point against Brentford and Brighton, so they're fantastic results as well. It's if he can deliver a 1-0 draw at Liverpool, he should be able to deliver 3 points at Brentford and Brighton. If you want me to say, brilliant, fantastic, well done to you. Because they could be in a top 4 battle now. They could be putting pressure on you, Anthony, if Mr. Conte and his team had come out and got 4 extra points out of Brentford and Brighton, 2 teams that they should be beating. So I'm not going to give plaudits and say that they're doing a brilliant job, because they're not. They could be higher if they'd set their expectations higher. I think their fan base will be happy with Europa League next season, and that's not good enough. Their club was in a Champions League final 3 seasons ago. That club, they've not lost loads of players. It's like, oh, but so-and-so's gone now, like the Bale situation. They're all there. All those players are still at Tottenham. They've spent money on players. They spent it poorly on Ndombele and all the other tap that Tottenham buy. They buy 1 good player for every 10 decent, poor buy that they have. So from there on in, that for me now, the dream is over of winning the Premier League, because it was a dream. It wasn't a reality. It was a dream. It was always a possibility that it could happen. But so after that game, I said nothing's changed, because genuinely it hadn't. Because up until the point when City played Newcastle, it was still a flip of a coin that they could have drawn that game, they could have lost. But no, City are going to demolish everybody between now and the end of the season. Do not expect Man City to drop a point. I will be surprised if they concede a goal, to be honest. I'm not confident.
Sorry, Dan, but going back to the initial point, like Klopp making those comments, there's absolutely nothing unreasonable about saying, hey, look, I'm disappointed when teams come here to shut up shop from the very beginning and take points off of us. He has every reason to say so. It reminds me of that was it Mourinho versus Pep? I can't remember when it was, but saying, hey, look, I came here to take 3 points. They can have all the possession, and we'll take the 3 points home. You can take the match ball, say la vie. But there's absolutely no reason. Like I don't think there's any issue. People make such a big issue out of whether it's Klopp saying, well, the grass was too long, or there's too much wind, or they came here to set up this way, and that didn't work for us. It's like, of course it didn't fucking work for you. This is Antonio Conte. Antonio Conte is doing Conte things. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. And I don't even think it's Klopp bitching or moaning about it. Excuse my French. Like, it's just him laying it out how he sees it. Now, the one thing I will say that Klopp has that Pep doesn't have, and this is a completely different tangent, is Klopp over the past, at the very start, all he had was the gegenpress. Now he has a possession-based system. Like, Klopp does actually have a plan B. He has plan 1 and plan 2. There are coaches across this league who actually have 0 plans, with the exception of their first plan.
Yeah.
And Pep is one of them. I just think it's a very interesting case study, and people like to, my main point is that people like to bring up this whole Klopp thing. Oh, he's complaining in the media. They all do. All top coaches do.
Every manager does. And that's right, Jesse. And that's the thing. But we'll go back to it saying, this is, well, we've come here to get, to get this draw. That it just shows a lack of ambition, and that personifies Tottenham. He's the perfect manager for them. If that is their attitude to the game, that a result is a 1-1 draw, you should go into every match wanting to win. You're not Crystal Palace, no disrespect to Crystal Palace. You're not Brighton. You're not Brentford. You're a club who sees yourself as a top 6 club, a club that's finished second in the Premier League, a club that's been to a Champions League final, and now, a 1-1 draw. Let's all sing and dance about it. It's not a good result. It hurt Liverpool, okay, but it hurt them more. It hurt them more. Genuinely, it hurt them more because 3 points puts them now 2 points higher. So let's say say they came out and they're going to use the weapons that they have at their capability. Harry Kane, Son Heung-min, and Kulusevski, 3 players who have been brilliant. They're all in form. They're all, capable players. They've got a defence which is iffy, but so have a number of other clubs. We had an iffy defence for years, but what we did was we said, well, we're going to score more goals than you. We may concede 1, but we'll score 2. We may concede 2, but we'll score 3. We'll go into a match with the ambition to push our club forward. Going for a draw shows no ambition at all, and it hurt them. They needed 3 points. They absolutely needed 3 points. And 1 goal was not going to be enough to beat Liverpool at Anfield. I'm sorry. We haven't not scored at Anfield since last season when we had hardly any players left.
To be fair, if what's that guy can head the ball, they could have won that game, to be honest. What's that guy? I can't remember his name.
It was Fielder. Yeah. But that showed the unambition. It showed it. That was it. That was the point. He didn't trust himself to take the chance.
No, but that's what I was coming towards. Like, at the end of the day, everybody knows if you try to play football against a Liverpool team, you are going to get beat. Simple as. It's difficult to open up and play football against a Klopp team, because Klopp teams are designed to kill you. Simple as. Yeah. And for me, I have no problem with the way Conte played, to be honest, and I don't think you have that same type of problem as well, like Dan, because at the end of the day, yes, he came for a draw, but he could have won the game as well from his side of things. But Antonio Conte doesn't build attacking teams anyway, in general.
And that's fine. As you say, I've got no problem with it at all. There's no sour grapes because they came with a plan. Their plan was to get a draw.
Yeah.
A draw is a good result. You saw the way that the players had a smile on their face. But what I'll point out is that it was unambitious.
No, maybe
they
it was
dropped 4 points in 2 games against Brighton and Brentford. Add those 4 points to their current situation. They are now neck and neck, if not ahead. Would they be ahead of Arsenal?
They would be
ahead of Arsenal. Okay.
Ahead of Chelsea.
And ahead of Chelsea. I'm not going to give you a hug and say well done. You're failing.
No. I am not saying...
Tottenham, you're failing. You don't sit there and accept that that's good enough. It's not good enough. Add those 4 points, Tottenham fans. Feel that now. Sit there now when you're looking at that league Monday morning and going to yourself, well, if my club was ambitious enough, if my club took enough risks and we went and actually had a shot on target in not 1, but 2 matches, 2 games, you didn't have a shot on target. But you want me to go, oh, well done, what an incredible result. It's not.
No, and that's the thing that I was coming to say as well. Like, at the end of the day, I think they took a risk as to where they're going to get a draw and maybe nick a win in the North London derby or something of that sort. That's what they must be thinking. However, at the end of the day, like I know who Antonio Conte is firsthand because I've seen him. He's a guy who wants to win, and like that's just who he is. However, I'll tell you this now, and I think I said it to you guys even on the Discord. This was the most Tottenham thing to do, to get a draw and to lose the games against Brighton and all of these guys. And maybe he'll lose the next 2 games as well. It's the most Tottenham thing to do.
And if he does, And if he does, he's not the right manager. And if he does, it's a failure, and he's not the right manager for the club.
No, and the thing is, it's more than him, right? It's more than him not being the right manager for the club. I believe Antonio Conte is good enough to do anything for whatever the club as long as they back him, because he did it with Chelsea, he has done it with Inter, with Juventus, and he's just a winner in general, right? And I know also if he's not going to get what he wants, he's a guy who is going to leave as well.
But this is the thing, like, you've got Chelsea fans, you've got fans from other clubs who are all sitting here saying, "Oh, Antonio Conte is bigger than Tottenham." That's what we're saying, aren't we?
Oh yeah, 100%.
That's what
I'm saying.
That's where Tottenham don't want to get themselves involved in a situation like that. Exactly. We're little old Tottenham over here. They're getting this small-minded mentality that they're a little club, but they want to be treated as a big club. What are you? Act like a big club if you want to be a big club. Exactly. Don't sit there and accept a 0-0 draw against Brighton and Brentford and go, "Oh, it's all right, Antonio. It's not your fault." No, it is. Of course it's his fault.
I'll tell you one thing. Antonio Conte, he would take it as a personal insult because of those 2 draws, and he would have wanted to win those games. And that's the type of person he is. And he would be thinking, I asked for so many things and these guys didn't give it to me. I'll give it another month in the summer, and if it doesn't happen, I am going to walk. And he will do that as well.
Exactly.
Dan, let me just step in. Like, it is one of those things where if Antonio Conte can't lay his mark on your club and let you guys know he's a winner, like, if he can't rub off on you, if he can't, off you on you, like, then who can? Because there's so few elite coaches in the world at this moment in time who can actually come in and set the precedent and say, we are winners no matter what. United fans, we're in the mud, but at the same time, I've spoken to Dan, I've spoken to everyone, including yourself, and we go into the Europa League or Conference League, whatever fucking league we're in next season in Europe, we have to win it. There's no bars hold. You have to win whatever competition you're in. Champions League is a little different, but at the same time, if you ask Dan, even if they lose the Champions League final this season, when they go back into it next season, guess what? He says final, and he would put down a fucking £1,000 saying, I guarantee we're going to make it to the final next season.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
100%.
It's a fan base issue, and if someone like Antonio Conte, who has this repertoire, can't instill that into your fan base and your team, then fuck off.
Yeah,
really,
exactly right.
Rule. Like,
he won't be the right person for that job. So just kind of moving from there.
To be honest, this is the club that sacked Jose Mourinho before a Carabao Cup final. By the way,
he was doing a good job. He's out there taking Roma to a Europa Conference League final. Exactly. The man is not finished. He's a good manager. They stuck with him.
To fleece him off of an £8 million bonus. Like, why? What are we talking about?
And that shows the ambition. It shows the ambition of their ownership. Oh, we're going to sack you because we don't want to pay you.
We don't want to pay you.
We don't want to pay you £8 million. The man, I've saw. He's a serial winner. Mourinho is a serial winner. He's had failures, of course. He's had places where he's not worked out, but so is a number of managers.
Everybody.
There's a number of managers who've not worked out at one place. Who's to say, that the next job that, say, Tuchel goes to, he leaves Chelsea and goes to the next one, that he's going to be a success there? There's no guarantee. 100%. It might not work out. It just all falls to bits. Mourinho was at Tottenham, and they should have done everything to keep that man. 100%. He has ambition. Conte is at Tottenham until a bigger job comes round. He ain't staying.
No.
He's going to PSG if PSG come knocking. His bags will be packed, and he'll be on the Eurostar from London quicker than they'll even realise his office is empty.
Yep.
He'll change his number, and that'll be it.
And back again comes Mauricio Pochettino.
Yeah, back to Maurizio again, because that'll come and fix it. There's no ambition in Tottenham's club, and I won't give any club a hug if they don't show any ambition. Brighton came to Liverpool, and I said fair play to them. They came to play our football. They got a 2-2 draw. I wasn't happy with the way West Ham went about their business when it comes to, you know, trying to score their goals. They rough up the goalkeepers. They put Antonio on there, you know. But that's their style. They got a 3-2 win out of us. We're not unbeatable. We're not invincible.
Yeah,
if
like there would have been a lot more respect if actually Tottenham won the game. You know what I mean? There would have been a lot more respect.
Oh, of course. But when you invite so much pressure with a 1-0 or a 0-0 situation, the chances of us not scoring are so limited. We're going to break you down. We've got some of the most talented footballers in the world. Eventually, those legs in defence will get tired. Mm-hmm. They will make mistakes. They'll slip. They'll lose half a yard. And these world-class players will finish, even if it's a deflection. That's how it works. Because if you invite pressure, eventually something goes in, something sticks. And that's my only thing. And I think that's where Klopp's coming from, is that he got teams like Dortmund, who were not, you know, big monopoly, Bundesliga. They came in and broke that monopoly by not sitting there and playing, we could play pragmatic football and we could, hold the ball and try and get them on the break. No, he realised if we want to go on and break this, if we want to move forward as a club at Dortmund and at Mainz, at both clubs, we have to go and play a style of football that goes to win football matches, because you can't win anything. You may get the odd result that works out for you, but eventually your consistency will fall down. Pep Guardiola and Jurgen Klopp are pushing the Premier League to limits that no one's ever seen. Like 2 teams finishing with mid-90 points nearly every season. It's fascinating. There's no other league where it's that intense and that consistent. And we want more of that. It makes it more entertaining. It's more exciting. Even if, as a Liverpool fan, I'm the one who sees my team finish second by a couple of points or by a point on a couple of occasions, because it's going to happen. But the difference is, as a Liverpool fan, I'm watching my team go into finals.
Yeah.
I've got a Champions League and FA Cup final, and I've just watched them, win a League Cup. So going to Canada is probably the perfect time for it. Yet the dream of the Premier League is over. It's done. Yeah. It ain't happening. Manchester City, having been knocked out, and this wasn't something I considered on our last show, but now I can see it. They've got nothing else to play for.
Exactly. That's why I was
saying. To win the Premier League. I didn't even consider this. It wasn't in my mindset because it didn't dawn on me that they'd been knocked out.
Yeah.
But when they were knocked out, I realised they aren't going to slip up.
No, that's exactly why I said Newcastle is going to get it.
Yep. And Wolves are going to get it.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to get demolished.
Newcastle is going to get it.
West Ham United are going to get it. And eventually Villa's going to get punished as well. It's going to be... I think there's a good chance that they could score 20 goals in the next 4 games.
Oh, yes.
I really do. Someone like I think Wolves could sink a load. I think they could get absolutely punished. If they defend the way that they did against you guys, with your impotent strikers, they're going to kill you. Wolves will... That'll be it. It will be, the meme will be out. Stop it. They're already dead. And I didn't realise that. And it dawned on me when I watched City come out against Newcastle, this form team, who, they'd lost to us 1-0, okay. It was away from home. But wow. Newcastle looked like the Newcastle under Steve Bruce. They were finished.
This is exactly what I was saying. And Dan knows exactly my argument here. And I misheard him yesterday, by the way. But we had this conversation because everyone was giving an easy time in Discord. And what I was saying was, no, it's not so insignificant dropping the 2 points a ton. Now, what he was saying was it was never in their hands in the first place. Now, that's entirely fair. And it's the truth. Really, what it is the truth. But
I'm going to put a twist on it, Jesse.
Wait. Let me just finish the point because I know that you'll have a bad reaction. But the whole thing was dropping those 2 points then allows Man City to come into that game yesterday and just be like, look, these brothers back here don't want it. You know what I mean? They want the Champions League. They want the FA Cup. You know what I mean? They want what they want. And Tottenham is first off, City can tell you about dropping 6 points against Tottenham. I mean, it's not like it's unheard of, but it's one of those where it's dropping the 2 points. That's the marker. And if you don't get that 3 points, you're giving them an easy ride, and the recovery time. You know what I mean? The state of thought. What Guardiola did was went in there. If you guys had won, he's like, fuck me, and the entire squad of Man City is like, fuck us. We don't know what to do. We're wounded animals. We have to win this game. But what you guys did was drop the 2 points, and Pep, that made the team talk really easy for Pep. He went in there and went, look, boys, they just dropped 2 points. Let's just go do the business now. You know what I mean? You guys helped. You guys basically nursed the wounds of a wounded animal.
Yeah. But I would actually say now, and this is my take on it, the draw in that game did Liverpool a favour.
Because it allows you to rest and kind of rethink things for the next.
It made me look at that game and sit there and think to ourselves, this is a City team who aren't going to concede any goals, and they're going to score a hatful. Their marker is down. They had a tough game against Leeds last week. We won earlier in the match, went top of the table with 2 points. They played a very, very tough game against Real Madrid. Full 90 minutes, intense football. They've had a few little niggly injuries and stuff like that. They played a Leeds team under Jesse Marsch, who is getting them to play much better football. They had periods, Leeds, in that game where they were on top. Like, could you imagine Leeds having control of a game against Manchester City? What happened? They got pumped 4-0. You know, Liverpool cannot rely on any of these teams to do a thing. And it's just realism landing in. And I think now for me that it's not a case of going, well, we give up on it. I think it's a case of going, well, let's be realistic. We have a game midweek against Aston Villa. Aston Villa, they got pride to play for. They had 3 points on, brilliant for them. For me, I want to see our team make the changes that we need to change, rest the players that need to rest. We've played a game every 3 days for the last month. We've never not been on TV or playing a football match home or abroad. This is a chance now to sit there and say, go out there, make the changes, bring Kostas Tsimikas in, bring Joe Gomez in, bring, James Milner in, put the swaps in. I'm not saying put the kids out. I'm saying those players who need to be rested, it's more important that they're ready to go against a very determined Chelsea team who's
I don't think so, bro.
No, I know. Oh, honestly, but I've got this respect because you've been there and done it.
Oh yeah,
you're a club who's been there and done it before. You've been there and won matches. You've been to finals. You've won Champions Leagues. No matter what form you're in, you're still a deadly machine.
We know how to do it. Yeah.
And there's nothing.
That's another question.
You know how to win. You know how to win 3 trophies in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And I'm not, this isn't the question necessarily directed at Dan. It's a completely different animal. And Dan's not saying. I don't think you've ever said, "Oh, we're giving up on this," but at the same time, it is 100% an absolute demolition of you have to go for every single trophy. And I understand you guys want to win the FA Cup and the UCL and all that, but my entire point was that you can't just degrade your squad and pretend like this doesn't matter. Like it's you. And by the way, at this point, okay, do whatever you want. But my whole point was against Tottenham, that was the marker. They beat City twice this season. They
that's where we disagree.
I'm just not letting you off the hook.
But that's where we disagree. I think you're underestimating City's mentality. I don't think that it really mattered if Liverpool had won or lost or drew. I don't think that would change the way City will perform between now and the end of the season. The reason that Liverpool are where they are is not because they drew against Tottenham. We can afford to draw against Tottenham at home and away. What we can't afford to do is lose away to West Ham. What we can't afford to do is lose away at Leicester, a team who we punished for 90-odd minutes of football. They had one chance and beat us. That's what we can't afford to do. And the reason Liverpool are where they are isn't because of Tottenham. It's because of the other performances. Brentford away, 3-3 draw. Brighton being 2-0 up and conceding 2 goals and dropping 2 points. With those 2 points, just the Brighton game, because we were 2-0 up, I'll say, and the Leicester match, because we were so dominant. We had a penalty. Kasper Schmeichel pulled off some world-class saves. I watched it and I thought, oh, it'd be all right, we're going to win this. And I couldn't believe my eyes, we didn't. So we can only thank ourselves for being where we are in the Premier League. But what I can say now is it would make more sense for us to look at the 2 trophies that are totally in our control and not take our eye off the ball and do what City did and be like, oh, let's try and overthink it and go, oh, I'm going to rest this player and put this player out and do this. It's just to make the changes. We're still going to be a strong team. Gomez is still going to come on with a good good game there. Kostas Tsimikas is a more than suitable left back. Joel Matip can come and play. Depends if he wants to play Canate. I'm not sure what he wants to do, but one of the 2 will be in there. Van Dijk appears to be someone who doesn't ever get tired. I don't know why. He just doesn't seem to have any sort of degradation. Milner to come in there. Curtis Jones, I'm not saying let's put a load of awful players out. I'm just saying let's make sensible changes and take this opportunity that's been presented to us. Even though this is a crap sandwich and we've been presented as an opportunity, we still need to take what's on offer and have a team that's ready and rested to play a Chelsea team who plays a day later than Liverpool, away, at a Leeds team who has absolutely everything to play for. Chelsea doesn't have the strength and depth that it did earlier on, especially in defence, because I'm not quite sure who you're going to play defensively against Leeds, because it's not like you can turn around and go, oh, we've got loads of suitable options because of your injury situation. Their top 4's not sealed. I don't think it's at risk at all, but it's still an added pressure. It's still a game which they have to win more. Chelsea has to win that game more than Liverpool has to win this game. We'll still finish second, even if we lose. But if we go in there and risk someone getting injured against Aston Villa for 3 points and we don't have them available for the FA Cup, that could be embarrassing.
But that's a choice to be made, though, isn't it, by Klopp?
Yeah. And
just real quick, Dan, just so I can rebuttal. I already said that I understand exactly what your concerns are, and I understand your opinion, 100%. It's entirely valid. And like I said, I misheard you the first time because I was listening to it while I was going to the store. But I heard what you had to say, but then you also jumped off to go pick up your son, and I was basically saying the boys here. I would not expect Anthony to do this. I would not expect Josh to do this in the chat. I wouldn't expect certain people to do it, but they let you off the hook too easily. It's like you can't just say, okay, it's fair. Everything is just the same. And like I said, I misheard what you meant, because what you meant was at the end of the day, it's always in City's hands. But I'm like, you guys have to actually challenge Dan on this, because the truth is, it does matter. It absolutely does. And again, and I said this again yesterday, is that what you have on your side is mathematics, is the actual factual reality of how many points there are in the table. What I said, and this is completely valid as well, but it's subjective, because it is subjective, is you have to also balance that with not applying the pressure, yada yada. It's not just about the points tally. It's also about, are we letting this beast that is Man City, who you rightfully claim are going to just win every game till the end of the season?
They're going to crush everyone.
They do it all the time. They do it every fucking season on season. But at the same time, my point wasn't so much directed at you as it was directed at other people, saying, hey, but let's not just say it doesn't matter, because it does matter. Drawing to Tottenham, it did matter. It absolutely mattered, and it mattered. It
does matter, but not. It wasn't where we lose the title, if that makes sense.
Right.
That happened. That happened months and months ago. This is just the accumulation of points to where we are now. We should be able to afford to draw a game. It's going to be frightening that we'll not win the league, having only lost 2 games. That's a frightening statistic that you can still only lose 2 games and not win the league. That's how tough
it just goes to show how good Man City have been in the league.
Yeah, and the standard is how high the standard is between the two teams. So what I would kind of say is just asking kind of from your point of view, like as if you were in Liverpool's situation now, your team's in an FA Cup final, you know about that, Anthony, and it is also going to a Champions League final.
Mm-hmm.
What would you be doing now, knowing that even if somehow City lose 1-0, could we see them losing any other result other than 1-0? I don't see that.
It's like this, right? At the end of the day, in my opinion, I still believe that you do have a slight chance of winning the league. I'm not saying you're definitely going to do it, but it's still 3 points at the end of the day, and the only way that they will win it is with, if they lose one game, the only way they will win it is with goal difference, for an example, right? Which is in their favor. But if Chelsea was in Liverpool's shoes, I would want my team to go for it. I don't know why, but I would want my team to go for it because football can be a weird game. City, you never know. Like, City might draw 2 games. They might not probably lose, but they might draw 2 games. And you might get that point advantage again. But at the end of the day, it's just because I want to win the league. Like, I value the league a lot more. And that's where I believe maybe Jurgen Klopp also must be a little bit gutted. And that's where he might also be coming with those types of comments, even though, it's fair that he said that. But he is also a bit salty in his way in saying, oh, no, they just came here to draw. Yes, they came here to draw because they know that they can't win. But
but they can. I disagree with you. They can. We're not unbeatable.
But
Leicester can do it.
No, but that's the thing, bro. Like, Leicester might be able, like, they would be able to do it. Yes, but at the end of the day, in reality, if a team opens up against Liverpool, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna lose. The only way that you can actually try to get something out of a Liverpool game is to defend for your lives and play that anti-football type of thing. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm not saying it's a good thing as well, but I kind of enjoy that from my side. Being a Chelsea fan, I've seen that all my life, to be honest. But in my way of thinking, I think Antonio Conte approached the game the absolute correct way. And I said this, if you consider Liverpool the virus, Antonio Conte is the hero. And that's where I rate this guy quite a bit, the way he plays and so on and so forth. But in my opinion, bro, I believe Jurgen Klopp still should go for it. Solely because there is that little... nobody can say to me at the end of the day, yes, the quad wasn't in your hands because of the Premier League being 1 point, the 1 point difference. However, at the end of the day, it's still 1 point, right? And then now it's 3 points. However, it is still, you can do something about it.
It's mathematically still possible. I agree with you.
100%.
It is mathematically still possible, but it's also unrealistic.
Yes, but
it's about being realistic. And that's where I'm saying we've got Aston Villa tomorrow.
Yeah.
Liverpool should make changes. Fortunately, we have a bench which is capable of making 6 or 7 changes and still beating Aston Villa. We can still beat Aston. I'm not saying go into the Aston Villa game and lose it. I'm not saying go in there and put ourselves in a situation where we can't win the game. What I'm saying is I'm not asking us to play Diaz, Salah, Mane, Thiago, Keita, Fabinho, the full squad against Aston Villa to get 3 points, risking a situation where we're going to add some more miles to some already quite long-running legs from this season. We will have played every single game available to Liverpool. The last time that was done back in 1981 were 4 competitions, 4 finals, and all of the Premier League.
I think pragmatically it's over. I don't obviously we keep using these terms like mathematically it's over. It's definitely fucking not, but pragmatically it is. And then you start allocating, your manpower resources to other things. Like
but then you also should put in I believe he will put in a team that can win the game against Aston Villa, no doubt. There is no doubt about it. However, if he does make too many changes and then you go on to not lose the game, but maybe draw the game, then it's really done. You know what I mean? Then it's
no,
done.
I agree.
And then that's where I would say, he did the wrong thing by over rotating, because at the end of the day, if you're gonna rotate, you can still rotate and have a good enough team to win against Aston Villa and put that slightest pressure on Man City still to go on and try to
I'll give you my team. I'll give you my team that I think that you should go with. I believe you should bring Firmino and Jota into the team. That's up front, taking Mane and Diaz out.
Yeah.
Midfield, James Milner in instead of Henderson. They can both do a similar job. Curtis Jones instead of Thiago. I still think that he deserves a chance. He's not had enough football this season, and this is an opportunity for him to go out there and prove it. Kostas Tsimikas instead of Robertson. Joe Gomez instead of Trent Alexander-Arnold. Joe Matip or Konate. You can choose which one he wants to play as centre-back. I don't think it makes...
That's not a match.
It would be whoever he wants to choose to play in the final, really. If he wants Matip in the final, it'll be Konate, and then vice versa. So I think Van Dijk stays in the team just because he always is. Yeah. He never gets rested. I don't think he's a player who wants to be or needs to be.
I think he's the type of player that wants to be on the pitch, even though he might need a rest or not, but he still has to be there.
Yeah, and I say this for Salah as well. I believe that Salah will probably start, and then maybe bring Firmino in after his injury for the second half, 60 minutes. That team there that I've just presented is more than good enough to be Aston Villa.
Oh, yeah.
And he's rotating with it to a team that we can get the result from as well. So, but I just genuinely think the best idea now is just to sit here, look at this and go, the ultimate prize, the only trophy Klopp hasn't won is on Saturday. It's the FA Cup. That prize should be the most important game this week. Not the most important completely, but this week we want to finish Saturday evening with another trophy to make this a domestic double season.
Yeah,
that is absolutely. We're up against a Chelsea team, out of form, out of sorts.
We had rubbish.
Having a number of issues. They're not the same Chelsea team that turned up in the League Cup. So now we have to press that home. We're at Wembley. There's no home or away advantages. It's a big event. Let's get another trophy on the board, and not put that at risk. So suppose that goes on to our FA Cup. How do you think Chelsea will set up on Wednesday?
I think we are going to definitely rotate, as I said before. Whether we're going to win or whether we
final.
Yeah, I mean,
rotate for the FA Cup final.
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind, just
go ahead. Just give them it. Why not?
Yeah, most probably we are going to rotate. I believe Romelu Lukaku will be starting again midweek. It's just what I feel like. And because maybe Rom deserves to start as well, to be honest. 2 goals in the last game, and he deserves to start. Maybe I would put in Kai Havertz in front of Timo Werner, to be honest, to get some game time in him as well. Maybe I wouldn't start Mason Mount. Maybe keep him as a substitute. Wouldn't start Christian Pulisic. I would start Hakim Ziyech. Because of the crosses. I wouldn't start Pulisic. For no reason, because that man is not good enough, to be honest. Biscuit fingers, he's not good enough.
Marcus rice cracker legs.
Yeah,
dude, have Hazard's replacement, the absolute dawn.
He is not gonna start. We've just bought him to sell some T-shirts or some, jerseys in the US, and that's the only reason we bought him.
Sell him back.
Yeah, we most probably will, to be honest, in the summer. And I would start Hakim Ziyech, to be honest, because just to get some crosses whipped into the box. Marcos Alonso is definitely not starting because of that bust.
So who plays? Who's going to play? Who's going to play? Are they going to sort that out, or
maybe
the final?
maybe Aspilicueta, because Aspi can play both sides. But that's the only
against
way
Mo Salah.
Yeah, because the only thing is because he does have Rudiger behind him. Rudiger is fairly quick. So that's the only way that I see it happening. But other than that, I can't think of any other way, to be honest. Because Reece James is definitely going to be starting. And, maybe Christensen or maybe Trevor Chalobah getting another chance in the team midweek just for rotation's sake. And maybe hopefully Christensen doesn't have any stomach problems again before the game. He can start.
He doesn't feel sick again.
Oh, yep. Or soft as ass cheeks is definitely starting.
Bring soft as ass cheeks in.
Yep.
Yeah, you see, that's it. I mean, I predict. It's funny, your attacking lines are probably the most unpredictable part of Chelsea when it comes to the final. Because who knows? It could be Lukaku starting. It might not be. It could be Werner. It might not be. It could be Havertz. It might not be. There's no definitive sort of. Yeah, Sam Kerr will be on probably. I don't think he'll have to do transfers, I'm afraid. So at the moment,
I would love to have Sam Kerr in the team.
That's it. Even if she's an internal one, but yeah, I think the final's going to be. It's going to be really interesting. I think this little storyline midweek for both clubs is almost. It's an interesting one. I think it's a really interesting situation because we're both in this sort of hot rock and a hard place. We play Tuesday. You play one day later. Does it matter? Maybe. Another 24 hours less rest.
I don't think 24 hours less rest. It really doesn't. I don't think it matters at all, to be honest. There is, as far as I understand, there is no absolute reason that it's just 24 hours. You don't get much out of 24 hours because you're playing these types of games every day, like for this whole season. It's been like this, so you really don't get that extra day's rest. If it was, for an example, if it was a Sunday game, then that extra 24 hours would have counted for Liverpool because you have another extra day on top of it, whereas it really doesn't matter because it's a Saturday. You know what I mean?
This is where I'm coming from with this rotation, that this is potentially a whole week's rest for some of our most key players. It will be a full 7 days worth of rest for some of our, which they won't have had. This is where I believe it's a genuine opportunity to rest these lads. They've played a lot of football. Midweek, every week. It's 2 semi-finals against Villarreal. That pitch was like a pub pitch after the amount of rain that was on it and stuff like that. It was, an absolute slogfest to go in there. So I just think it's an opportunity. I think it's an opportunity for Liverpool to not say, throw the game, but for us to rotate, allow players to come in and prove themselves. Curtis Jones, I don't think Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain's staying. There's nothing for him to prove. But someone like Curtis Jones, this is an opportunity for him to lay his mark down and say, I want to be considered as someone who can be brought in, again. The standards are so high at our club that if you don't take your chances, you don't get another one.
I get it.
When a player gets in the team, it's rare they have they've had a bad game or they're on bad form, so we're going to bring someone in. It's like as soon as they're in, they just seem to stay there. They never drop down the levels, do they, kind of thing? And it's another great opportunity for Joe Gomez, and also for Liverpool to show how much he's worth to us. Yeah, we want to offer him a new contract. We want to use him as a rotation for Trent. We don't want to overwork Trent.
We've seen him as well, to be honest, Joe Gomez.
Yeah, he's had some great games. He's played brilliantly against Norwich. He played brilliantly against Nottingham Forest. He's played some really good football. Like the deliveries that he gave in against Watford, he's bringing assists in, and the ball that he's delivering is probably up there with Trent Alexander-Arnold's delivery of the ball. He's clearly been at the training centre working on becoming a new Trent, shall we say, building up them skills and building up that ability to be able to deliver that ball. He's always been able to do it because I've seen quite a famous video of him taking free kicks. One of those little fun videos that they do.
Yeah, the training pitch.
A bit of training pitch. But the free kicks he was taking, he was literally picking his corner. Top right corner, bang, top bottom right corner. And than the left one. So he's got a delivery in him, and I want him to stay, because if we want to go on next season and go for another final, go to another, try and get the Premier League, you need to be able to rotate these players. You've got to, City's come a scupper because they've not had players to rotate in right and left back. João Cancelo can't play right back. I'm sorry.
Same with Chelsea as well.
Yeah, you guys have had the same issue. As much as it can happen to you, you can have double injury or whatever, but to have someone who can come in and keep them standards high is really, really important. So I'm really hopeful for the final. I did feel a bit down after the Tottenham game because it felt a bit of a...
I mean, obviously you would be, because at the end of the day, you were going for that Premier League title, no matter what. You were going for that title, and you need to feel upset because at the end of the day, you had a real chance of winning it, and you just maybe missed it by a hair, and things like that could happen because you are also competing with another brilliant team who is also relentless at the same time. It is what it is at the end of the day,
and that's the context, isn't it? That's the context it's missed, is that we also need to remember that this team has got another final this weekend and a final at the end of the month.
Yeah, it's not a bad season
how
in
much
any
are we
way.
going to ask of these players? When if we need, as a Liverpool fan, 10 years ago, the team that Liverpool had, 2012, we had Donny, we had some absolutely horrendous players. We were finishing mid-table, and now look at us.
Yeah, but
we're the talk of the town in every fan base.
But the thing is that, like, at the end of the day, yes, you can be very happy with what you've achieved this season. 4 finals, almost winning the Premier League, everything is good. But at the end of the day, you did have a very, very realistic chance of actually winning the quadruple this year. And there is also a realistic chance that you might only end up with the Carabao Cup as well. Like, there is a chance. I mean, I'm not saying
there's a possibility. There's a possibility. I'd accept it more so if we were playing City. I think Real Madrid are brilliant. I just genuinely feel we're better. I feel we have a better team. 100%. I feel their defense is poor, really poor. And I think that will be the major difference between where City dropped and where Liverpool will succeed, is their defence. Because of their injuries, when Walker went off, they were weaker. Because they've lost Stones. I think Stones is their second best defender in their team.
After Diaz, isn't it?
Yeah, apart from Diaz. Diaz showed that he's not on VVD levels, and we can put that conversation to bed forever. It's done. He's not. He's a good defender, but he isn't elite. He's not world class.
No, he's young as well. Like, we need to give him a bit of time.
You still have to give that little bit, don't you? But looking at that situation, I think the Champions League is we're favourites in that one. We're favourites against Chelsea, and so we should be. Yeah, and we need to own that. We need to accept that situation. We're no longer that underdog like we were. When we played Real.
It's not Disney Plus anymore. You are the main guys, and to be honest,
we're the main attraction now. I'm afraid
Chelsea is the underdog. I mean, we have been there. We have done it. We still have a good team, but we have a poor run of form. But in reality, if anybody says that we are going to this thing as level with Liverpool, that's a lie. We are clearly underdogs. But as I said before, there is not a high chance, there is a chance that you could only end up with the Carabao Cup because...
Absolutely. And that would be disappointing.
Disappointing, isn't it?
But it would be disappointing, definitely disappointing. But again, I'm just we have to take it match by match. Is that as soon as we drew a game with Spurs, all this conversation appeared about us. Oh, we could only end up with a Carabao Cup. We could have only ended up with the Carabao Cup the day after we won the Carabao Cup. We drew, we didn't lose. We've not lost numerous players. It's allowed itself to be creeped into, I think, because we showed a little bit of being human. I think that's what was the reason, because we became human for a second. For us now, the FA Cup is really important. I know that these players, mentality-wise, will not let anything slip.
Oh no, like they're gonna come for it. Like they're gonna really, really come for it for sure.
Yeah, that they know that there's 180 minutes of football away from a treble. You know, a treble that is.
It's not the treble, but it's a treble. A very good treble.
It's an incredible treble. Yeah. To come in modern times, so I want to use this now. I'm gonna say this. That winning this treble now could be even harder than winning trebles as it was in the past. The consistency of the Premier League is so high now.
Premier League is so hard to win.
Yes, and that's my point, is that we spoke about this last night. The lowest ever points tally for a Premier League winner was 75 points, Manchester United.
Jesse is back as soon as you mentioned the treble.
No, but me and Jesse, we discussed this. He agrees on this one. He knows I'm not digging United out. It's a different time. But these are the times that we live in now, and we can't compare each other to different times, because football's different. I'm not taking anything away and saying, it was easier for you. I'm saying that United were more consistent than all the other teams, but United were anything but consistent. Their first 4 games, they won 1 and drew 3. If you did that now, you ain't winning the title. No, that's over. It's done. They got 75 points, which in the 2016 season would get you 5th.
I feel like a lot of people in the modern ethic of football they conflate things like one treble to another. They want to compare everything to something else. The Invincibles to another. I don't know, even the treble to the Invincibles. There is so much space between a team that wins the Premier League, Invincible, and winning all of the trophies minus the Carling Cup. You know what I mean? It's like people conflate these things, and it's not cyclical. Like, you can't compare a treble to an Invincibles. You can't compare a Centurion to a 99 points a different year. Like, I think people get too caught up on it. I feel like we need a bracket for these are the greats.
Yeah,
not that is the greatest.
Yeah, that's totally right. We're hung up on saying that Liverpool haven't won the treble, but the treble was won in a different time period. And if we're going to say that, we'll have to then say the team who wins the treble next will have been a better team than the team who won the treble then. But when you know what I'm saying, it becomes very sort of, we want to start picking pieces and stuff like that from trees. Is that because to win the Premier League now, you need at least 94 points.
Yeah.
You need 94 points. So you already have to be more consistent than Manchester United were when they won their league. You've got to be better than that United Premier League team.
It just becomes a pissing contest between people who are fucking exceptional.
It's exactly. It's literally it's picking them to pieces. If Liverpool had won the quad, let's say we did, you'll still have people ready to genuinely defend that was a fluke. It wasn't. No. It's not been done since because it's so incredibly hard to do.
I'll tell you, Dan. I will tell you, Anthony. Dan, I will tell you exactly the argument that will come out if Liverpool picks up the quad, and the exact argument will be, well, what did your Champions League final, run in?
Yeah, exactly right. I made this point as well.
We beat up Juventus, Barcelona, and Bayern Munich in the final 3 games, and they'll say Villarreal.
Benfica.
They'll try to fucking in Benfica. They'll bring in. They'll conflate the argument. This is something that makes absolutely no fucking sense. It's that's not even the point.
You beat a Chelsea team who were under financial sanctions, so that's not the same.
Bullshit, we went out there to Real Madrid and proved exactly who we are as well. Like it's not easy whether we were under sanctions or not. You still beat Chelsea.
And that's it. And that's why I'm trying not to get caught up in this. You've not won the treble. The treble is marketing.
Yeah.
It is. It's Manchester United invented the treble, rightfully so, because they were the first in modern times to do that. It has been done before, but it was the most modern one within the Premier League, where they have right to call it the treble, but it's marketing. A treble's the same. You only end up with 3 more cups at the end of the season. When we go to that big old tally and go, how many have Liverpool won? Well, we've won 68 or whatever it will be. No one will really care, but let's break that down. And you've won 12 FA Cups, but you've only won 9 league. It's like, no, it's about how big that cabinet is. Yeah. Fill it with trophies.
Exactly right. The exact reason, Anthony, just before you go, sorry, but it's the exact reason why I say Sir Alex Ferguson is always going to be my GOAT. But at the same time, I can totally recognize that Pep Guardiola, in the next 20 years, if he keeps coaching, which he probably will make it to 70, he's going to outdo Sir Alex's trophy cabinet. Like it's just and at that moment in time, he is like I have him like there. I know he's going to outdo Sir Alex in his lifetime. Like I know it. So I'm not denying anything. I also think like there are dubious means in there, but at the same time, I'm not going to take it away from him. I think we have this thing where we need to take things away from others to give to ourselves, and it just becomes really awkward. Go ahead, Anthony. I'm sorry.
And the point that I wanted to make on Jesse's point as well. The most important thing is he did it. Yeah. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter how he had to do it. He still had to do it. In these 6 years, how many Premier Leagues has he won? 4, 5?
This would be his 5th.
This would be his 5th.
If he wins this one.
Yeah, and how difficult it is to do that, albeit competing with a Liverpool team who is doing that. And also, taking nothing away from Liverpool as well. Like I said this in the last stream as well. Liverpool arguably had the most difficult group stage. Then they faced Inter Milan, who are no mugs as well. Then they played Benfica. Maybe that was a little bit easy, but however it is, they still had to win.
Would it make people feel better if we played Ajax?
It's exactly the same thing.
Would it have made people feel better if we beat Bayern Munich?
It would be. I think that's the point where people are trying to make, But at the end of the day, they didn't come and win against a Villarreal who just knocked out some young boys or anything. They knocked out Juventus and they knocked out Bayern Munich. And then they played Liverpool and Liverpool knocked them out and went into the final. And that's where people forget. And if Liverpool managed to beat Real Madrid, which is going to be a very, very difficult thing, no matter what they say, this Real Madrid team has experience behind them. This Real Madrid team beat PSG, beat Chelsea, beat Manchester City. So arguably, I would say Liverpool was and is the best team in Europe this year without a doubt, because they managed to do all of these things in the Champions League. And I don't get where people come in and say, oh, you had the easier run towards the final.
First English team to win all of its group stage games.
Exactly right. And you still had to be there and do it. Whether it's the easiest run or whether it's the hardest run or whether it was the moderate run, you still have to win those games. You still have to go to the final. You still have to, win that final. The bloody trophy doesn't say, oh, champions of Europe, Liverpool, in brackets, easiest run in the knockout stages. You know what I mean?
Every single year, Manchester City gets to play League 1 and League 2 competition in the League Cup and the FA Cup up until like the semi-final. It's happened every year. Like they get a genuinely easy run, but Liverpool this year when it came to the
Sorry, no, Dan. Yeah. Round 5, they're playing Wickham. It's or whatever it is. It's fucking ridiculous. Go ahead.
Our League Cup run consisted of Leicester, and Arsenal.
Yeah.
You know,
we always start with West Ham or Aston Villa in round 3. It's like first here are all the teams that you could play. You could play these 12 fucking Champions League 1 sides, or you can play, here we go, West Ham. First round. What the fuck are we talking about?
You know? That's what I mean. It's not going to say in bloody brackets, easiest run in Champions League history for the round of 16. You've been there, you've done it, and you've done it so many other times as well. And it's simple as that. If you, at the end of the day, yes, it's going to be, I believe it's going to be very, very disappointing if you guys actually do end up with a Carabao Cup, because at the end of the day, just like a season, your expectations change as well, depending how your team performs, depending on your January transfer window and all these other things. It is going to be difficult, but also it is going to be difficult to win all these trophies. But at the end of the day, it is also going to be, how would I say, disappointing if you do end up with the Carabao Cup final. But in saying that, you also got to admire what they have also achieved this season, how many finals they have been, how difficult the league was as well. And there is also, I need to add this, if you do end up losing to Real Madrid, there is no shame in losing to Real Madrid.
No, and that's my point, that I'm not going to be one of those fans who, I said this from the point when the quarterfinal draw was, the route to the final was drawn. Real Madrid is not a team I'd have wanted to have played. Yeah. They know, especially in 2 legs. In a final, a bit different.
Yeah.
Because when you have the Santiago Bernabeu, it's like Anfield. You know? No one wants to play there. Nobody does. Every major manager in world football admits it. Wenger, Mourinho, Fergie have all admitted you don't want to play at Anfield. Ever. It's not where you want to go. And that's why when any team gets Liverpool in their group or gets them in any of the knockout stages, I know they're going,
fuck yeah. I believe the same way, to be honest.
Bollocks. We're going to have a hell of a hard night at Anfield where magic has happened multiple times. Not once, loads of times.
Doesn't matter where Liverpool are. I've said this about Bayern Munich. I've said this about Liverpool. I've said this about, obviously, Real Madrid. Wherever they are, they could be, Real Madrid could be fucking scraping the bottom of the barrel 12th in La Liga. I still don't want to play him.
Champions League, it's a different gravy with them. It's just how
this is where it's to be, isn't it? This is where it needs to be. And I'm looking at this Liverpool team who felt that hurt when they played Real Madrid the first time. There's a vast majority of these players know what that feels like. They know the injustices of, what happened within that game. We weren't good enough. We were the underdog. We weren't the favourite. We didn't have a good enough team. What happened with Ramos? At the end of the day, I know what he did.
He's a bloody bastard.
We know what he did. The International Judo Association called out exactly what he did. They're experts. They've got a name for what he did. It wasn't a natural move. He's a horrible man, but he's a winner.
There's a technical move for how to dislocate someone's shoulder, and he did exactly that.
I don't want to butcher the Japanese language but I've read it the other day because I look back and forth. I imagine it, and it's literally the whole mechanism, and it fills me with hate. Salah, it's got one opportunity now to turn up in a final. He has an opportunity to turn up against Real Madrid. I expect this to be peak Mo Salah. I'm talking 2018 against Watford scoring a hat-trick on your debut. That's the Salah I'm expecting.
But then you also got to be aware there is one man who would change everything for you as well, which is Karim Benzema.
Virgil van Dijk. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Is that, Benzema will be living in Van Dijk's pocket, I'm afraid. That's where he's going to be.
You say that, but...
In a Canate sandwich. Van Dijk and Canate sandwich.
You say that, but Benzema, he's really done...
He's incredible.
Whatever. Yeah, but I think we need to save our Champions League chat for the week of the Champions League. Because we could talk about this for the next 2-3 hours without any problem, to be honest.
Easily.
easily. But
100%. So,
but yeah, so
FA Cup weekend. I think
FA
we'll
Cup
know a lot
weekend.
more after the Premier League games. I think we'll know
Yeah.
a lot more about what kind of things are going on at the clubs.
Yeah, exactly right. But before we end the stream, I also want to talk about another team that has actually made it to Europa League or Conference League, depending on which other. Jesse, your thoughts about being bullied by
Congratulations, Jesse.
Brighton?
Well done, mate. Yeah, Europa Conference League, good result this season. Must be made up.
UCL is an elite competition. Only the best of the best ever get to qualify for it. And if we win it, we've won everything. There's something Liverpool will never be able to chant.
This is it. This is it.
You've won everything. So,
Ten Hag is looking forward to no longer having to play Champions League football, but playing FC Tatooine on a Thursday night.
But I'll tell you something.
Why would you want to when your fans can enjoy the smoke coming off of a steam train coming through as
playing the Belarusian
in Zagreb or something?
The 1800s are hiking coal into the engine of it. Why would you want to be anywhere else? I don't understand.
Playing a country where Wi-Fi is not quite been invented just yet.
Oh, somewhere in Zagreb, you know what I mean? Dinamo Zagreb.
You need Wi-Fi when you have the Conference League.
Yeah. I'll tell you one thing: if you do end up qualifying either for the Conference League or the Europa League, either or, right? You got to at least make it to the final, isn't it, Jesse?
No. We have to win whatever competition, whatever European competition we are in next year, whether it's Europa or Conference League. We have to fucking win it. Now, I'll make exceptions for Ten Hag. I understand if we don't, but the expectation from the fan base strictly needs to be we go in there where we're already underperforming. We need to go in there expecting to win every competition every year. We have to at least expect to win that European competition. That has to be across the board. I would say, we need to win the Premier League. Obviously, we won't be in the Champions League, but we need to win something. And we're more than likely we're not going to win the League Cup, FA Cup, obviously the Premier League. But we need to go into that competition where we will be the favorites.
Oh yeah,
100%. We're going to be the favorites, no matter what, just because of name and reputation. We have to go into it saying we're going to win it. When we say, well, we at least need to make it to the finals, I understand what you're saying, Anthony, but at the same time, no, the truth is we just have to win that. There's no excuses. There's absolutely no excuses. And go ahead. Yeah.
No, I was saying the finals because like a bare minimum, you know what I mean? You have to make it to the finals because nothing less than that is a failure, because sometimes you might make it to the finals and just be defeated because it is a one-off game and sometimes shit happens, you know what I mean? But you have to be there in the finals in order to win it. That's what I was trying to say, to be honest.
100%. No, you're right, and I have you correct there. The thing I will say is if we don't win it, which we probably won't, even though I expect us to, it's one of those things where it comes down to, first off, we need to have that mentality, but we also need to have everyone in line where we admit to ourselves as a fan base, it's probably not going to happen just because it will be Ten Hag's first season. And I'm literally reading right here. Everything is fucking happening on Twitter still, you know what I mean? And it's like, we're still looking for a director of football. We need to get everything in line this summer first. If we get everything in line this summer, I don't even expect Ten Hag to go ahead and win anything next season, but we need to see all the progress in the world, and the mentality that our fan base needs to have is that mentality of we expect to go in and win at least one trophy next season. If that doesn't happen, but we see all the right things falling into place, okay, we can skirt it, even with you guys, even with rival fans. You guys will give us shit, but we'll still be able to skirt it. But if nothing's happening, if we're still playing like we're under Ralph or under Ollie and we're not winning anything, what the fuck are
I mean, what's the point, isn't it? What's the point?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, if you can't beat the dog and duck 11 on a pub car park on a Thursday night, it's probably where football's not for you anymore, is it really?
No. You just simply need to close it down.
Roma might drop down under the group stage, and I know Dan would love to see a United Roma final next year.
Oh, could you imagine Jose? Oh my lord, could you imagine him coming back? He'd be giving it the full Inter versus Barcelona situation, won't he, on that pitch? They'd be dragging him off Old Trafford. Get off!
Be fucking terrible. And the fact is, we have a manager. No matter what you think about him, we have a manager who actually means business. Now it's time to,
I think he does,
actually put the actual pieces in place so that he has a structure around him to succeed. And so that's why I say, realistically, I don't know what we do next year, but when you ask me, Anthony, what's the expectation? Getting to a final? No, we need to win it, and that's the mentality that the entire club should have.
Oh, that's the mentality you need to have as well.
Yeah,
that's the mentality you need to have as well. But yeah, as I said, like, shit happens, whatever said and done. But at the end of the day, you need to be in that final. Then you have to try and win it as well, because that is the bare minimum as well. And we just thought, like, we should just cover off the Manchester United bit as well, like at the end of the stream, because we've been going on for 1.5 hours and it just felt like 20 minutes to me, to be honest. Great conversation again. Thanks, Jesse. I know it has been very late for you over there in the US. And
I woke up right before the stream started, so it's fine.
And thanks Dan for joining us again. And as always, guys, like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. We are on the road to 100 subscribers, and every comment and everything we appreciate it quite a bit as well. And if you do want to join us in one of our streams, please do let us know, and we would be happy to have you as well in the streams. And so all I got to say is let's look out for the midweek games, and let's see what happens in the FA Cup final then. Definitely,
mate. Definitely. Yeah. All right. See you later.
Yep. As always. Yeah. And always, goodbye, God bless, and good night, people.